This dude is leading a team to a championship. And his numbers are outrageous. He averages a triple-double.
How about Dirk?
No. He's better than Dirk. If he wins this championship, he's definitely better than Dirk.
Hold on.
I think he's just better than Dirk, period. But not D-Wade. I think Dirk is overrated by a lot of people. He's great, but I would put Jokic ahead of Dirk if he wins this championship, without question.
Shooter in the history of basketball. I got Steph Curry, LeBron James, Giannis, Luka, Jay. These are the guys that if you gave them $295 million, there's nothing to blink about.
All right, good stuff. Where's Jokic?
Huh?
Where's Jokic?
Not box office.
Oh, come on.
Jokic isn't known for having some kind of dominant post game now. That's not his game.
Hold on a second.
It's not his game. He's not a dominant. Is he a dominant post player? Nikola Jokic got such a beautiful touch. He reminds me more of a McHale than a Shaq is what I'm trying. You understand the difference that I'm saying?
Is Kawhi actually a better player under pressure than the great Kobe Bean Bryant?
Yes, he is. No one had more heart than Kobe. Like, Kobe's not scared of anything. But because Kobe was the best bad shot maker, he's already been a finals MVP, and that was before he was in his prime. Under pressure, yes, Kawhi is better than Kobe was.
3-1 on Golden State. Open shot, fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it. I want Iguodala. That's right. And I know what that sounds like. And it's not fair to Steph because so much defensive attention is paid to him.
I mean, and what we're saying is, can he right now, at 52 years old, beat LeBron one-on-one? I mean, and come on.
You know, Stephen A. Smith?
Oh, gosh, don't do this.
You know? He just might be able to.
Don't do
He
this.
just might be able to.
Okay.
I say that on this alone and this alone, Michael Jordan could figure a way to beat a LeBron James who just might crumble under the pressure to beat his idol, the greatest basketball player in the history of life.
Okay.
Ever since I started creating content on YouTube, over time I've realized there is a method to this game of attracting viewership, intriguing titles and thumbnails that get the audience to click and watch your content, react to it, share it, etc. And while that's all good and fine, trying to get people interested in what you have to say, there is a fine line though between clickbait and over-the-top shock value headlines, takes, and commentary, all in the name of clicks, views, and attention that bring in more eyeballs and generate revenue as a result. And for the mainstream media, more specifically ESPN, it has gotten to the point where they have completely lost their way and gone off the rails from true, honest reporting, analysis, and coverage. So much so that it has become damaging to the sport of basketball, among others, and it's what we'll be talking about in this video. If you're new to the channel and you like this type of content, it would mean a great deal to me if you subscribe. We're actually nearing 20,000 subs, so I would greatly appreciate it, and in return, I'll be providing more NBA content like this. Now, back when I was a kid in the 90s, growing up watching Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls and watching ESPN on a nightly basis like it was a religious ritual, I always loved and looked forward to hearing their analysis and commentary, highlighting of games, because not all games were actually available to watch back then. And while yes, there was some sensationalizing of topics, the mainstream media and sports coverage as a whole was thorough, honest, and quality level reporting. They didn't make shock value statements just to get people talking and creating a frenzy. No, they talked about the game, what was going on around the league, and for the most part, they kept it real. But then, somewhere down the line, as we enter the age of social media, discourse on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, even TikTok, the mainstream media has lost its way in doing everything they can to get viewers back to their sites and platforms and away from all the other distractions that we face as a society, to the point where the takes and comments are so outlandish that they don't even believe what they're saying because they know their commentary will draw attention, discussion, more views to their show, and more money to them in the form of fat contracts they receive from their respective networks for keeping their audience engaged. And it's sad because you're seeing how this shift in sports news sensationalism is taking over, so much so to the point where they're changing narratives of past players' careers, their legacies, and influencing the public when it comes to buying into these narratives, as well as controlling other media outlets and shifting their biases and beliefs. Let's take a few examples that have happened more recently. Chris Broussard, who maybe it's just me, has never really carried a ton of credibility over the course of his reporting career. A lot of people don't take him seriously, and to say that a player like Dirk Nowitzki, one of the greatest international players of all time, if not the greatest, to say that he's overrated as a means to push your argument in favor of explaining why Nikola Jokic is so high on his all-time list is just preposterous and disgraceful. And this is coming from someone who was never really even that big of a Dirk fan. I like and respected his game, but it's not like he was one of my favorite players that I had clear biases towards. But to make these types of comments all in the name of shock value and headlines is just sad. Stephen A. Smith. I actually like Stephen A. sometimes because he is a character and always has been, but the man has made a career off shocking hot takes, yelling at people to get his point across even when he knows he's wrong, and saying things like Nikola Jokic isn't worthy of a supermax contract because he's not box office, putting players like Jason Tatum over him as worthy of a supermax contract, or freaking LeBron James, who is 38 years old, of being worthy of one at this point in his career. Yes, obviously worthy of a supermax contract for the majority of his career, but not anymore. Same can even be said about Steph Curry. Like, Nikola Jokic is arguably the best player in the world right now. About to win his first title, he's doing things we've never seen big men do before, and is a basketball mastermind on the court with his level of impact and production. But somehow, he's not worthy of a supermax contract because he's not quote-unquote box office. Which that in and of itself is not true, but all of it is just straight comical. Stephen A. knew what he was doing. He knows something like this is going to go viral. He knows it's going to stir up controversy, get people to click on the video, go to ESPN's YouTube channel and comment how ridiculous this was. But guess what? As bad of a take as it is, and everyone knows it, it's bringing in the dollars. Another one also from Stephen A. talking about how Jokic doesn't have a dominant post-up game, which couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, he's not Shaq, like he followed up to say, but to sit here and compare him and say that he doesn't have a dominant post game when JJ Redick completely destroyed that argument, talking about how the most efficient play over the last 10 years across the NBA has been a Jokic post-up. He knew that he was wrong. He knew what he was doing. And it's creating controversy and something for people to talk about. And look, it now gets to the point where we're at this stage of what are we even doing here? Are we actually trying to provide quality, thorough analysis, quality conversations and talk shows, actual coverage of the sport? Or have we just completely shifted toward this scream loud, shock value headlines, false narratives, and sensationalism, all because it grabs people's attention in a world where it's hard to captivate people's attention these days? The people watching know that it's wrong, they know it's ridiculous, but it works. And the problem is that it's only going to continue to get worse and worse as the mainstream media and all the national, local media outlets fight for views and eyeballs on their platform, and creating this common trend towards shock value content, trying to one-up each other with who has the most outlandish takes. And I have a hard time seeing if we'll ever get back to what sports analysis and news used to be, with thought-provoking takes and assessments. I don't think we'll ever see that again. Unless, of course, we just start taking some of these quote-unquote personalities off TV. As Kyle Kuzma said in response to Chris Broussard saying Dirk is overrated, can we just take people off? This is so bad for our sport. But then again, they'll just find someone else who is just as loud and obnoxious with asinine takes as the ones before them. And look, I get it. I understand the irony of me giving any of this attention and talking about it further to perpetuate this ridiculous narrative that these outlets try to push. I get that by me talking about it, I'm only adding fuel to the fire and making it worse. But my hope here is that some will recognize just how out of control the media has been in sensationalizing the game and taking away from the enjoyment we get as fans in watching basketball. We simply can't enjoy the game of basketball for what it is, the level of talent and excitement that comes with it, without the drama and toxicity that the media and fans have created, all to promote their own agenda. It's sad to me, and while I do hope things will change in getting back to the sound, quality news and analysis of the game, I have a hard time seeing it based on the trend we're seeing in this industry. I would love to hear what you guys think though. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.